Ugh.
Hello, members of the league, and welcome to your 5 happiest minutes of the week. It is time for 5 happy minutes with your host, the owner of the Strong Baddie Chiefs. My name is Roger Tiller. I'm welcoming a plethora of guests tonight. We will quick rundown who we have. We've got Mr. Mike Mostrom, the commissioner, driving and drinking cold.
Draft participant. I'm ready.
Yes. We have Mr. Ferguson. Hello, Mr. Ferguson.
What's up?
Raising the roof. Mr. Helmholt, Stinky Train.
Stink train in his house. Drinking my mixed tail. No Tecmo Super Bowl this week though.
That's a darn shame.
Did you say you're drinking your mixed tail?
There you go. Firewalker. All right, anyway, and last but certainly not least, first time on the show, Andy Helmholt, the man.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey guys.
Yes.
All right.
Wonderful.
Wow.
All right, well, for the first time ever, we're going to do two segments.
Oh my.
For the first segment, we're going to talk to Mike. He was the only one of the league, the commissioner appropriately enough, to go to Chicago, the dirtiest city in America, to check out the draft, the live draft, which apparently brought in over 200,000 people over the long weekend. So there's a pretty good shot that they're going to have it there again. So give us a rundown of the festivities and what you liked and what you participated in.
All right. So I did a little bit of everything because I had a couple days to do it. There was a ton of different activities to go on. I was able to take pictures with the Super Bowl trophy. There were 32 different team tents, along with multiple different tents that had cheerleaders in them, which I sent a couple pictures to a select few. Very, very friendly cheerleaders, by the way. There was also a whole bunch of.
They weren't the real cheerleaders, just so you know.
What's that?
They weren't the real cheerleaders, just so you know.
Hypothetically, they were because they were on the same calendar that I picked up. So that kind of worked out well.
Is that a Mother's Day gift?
Only for my mom. That's what we got.
Did you get him to sign your crank?
They don't have microfiche there. Come on.
Oh gosh. What else did they have? They did have actually this is something that the league would be interested in. They had a fantasy football rundown, which basically means that you could sign up, take a picture, put yourself on a trading card, and then you could run the 40-yard dash, do the vertical jump, do different obstacle courses to basically make where you would be drafted in the Fantasy Football Hall of Fame.
Bench press?
What's that?
Bench press?
Express?
Was there a bench press?
Press.
You're breaking up.
Bench press.
Bench press. There was no bench press, thank God. Because everybody would have failed on that. But it was basically all the athletic activities. So that was a really good time. I would have been drafted in the second round. No big deal. My 40 time, 4.75, just so we're all aware. Other than that, lots of different autograph sessions. I got pictures with people, studs such as Drew Stanton, who is a waste.
Party on.
Greg Olson, big man, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I love me some Greg Olson.
What's that?
I love me some Greg Olson.
So do I. I should never have traded him. That was a mistake. Merle Hodge, Golden Tate Trace, and a couple other fine gentlemen. Andre Ellington was also there. He's a little bit small. Eric, you might want to take that in consideration for future, by the way. He looks like he's going to be hurt.
I don't plan on him being on my team.
I don't know who has him on his team anymore, but he looks small and he's going to be hurt again.
Well, he's probably going to be a free agent.
For the actual draft part, it was
Did you see Roger Goodell come out on stage on the outdoor stage for round one?
So there was an actual auditorium portion, which I was not allowed in until Saturday because my name did not get drawn. And then there was an outdoor auditorium, and then there was the stand-up room only, which that was me. I was stand-up room only. I did not see Roger Goodell. until the third day, which I just got to stop him briefly. And he looks like a midget, by the way, too. Actually, no offense to Roger, but I could see you being Roger Goodell later on in life, just so you're aware.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, right.
He's making a lot of money, so I'm sure
Paying
it's cool.
$50 million a year to be hated? I'm all right with that.
I
I hate
was a
Roger.
part of the Chicago Bears.
Which I introduced myself to Mr. White. He assured me that he's going to be a fantastic fantasy player, probably in the number 3 position overall, though. Just so we're all aware, he does not want to be drafted number 1.
He doesn't want that.
He just doesn't want that pressure, plain and simple. He doesn't want it.
Did you meet him, you said?
What was that?
Did you say you met him?
Yes, I did meet him. I got to shake his hand, that happens to be 5 times the size of my hand, which was great. But I did not meet, obviously, the top 2 quarterbacks because they weren't there. I'm trying to think who else I met there. What's that? I did not meet him. He looked like a douchebag from Michigan State, so I was not interested in him.
Ouch.
Ouch. Richard Dent. If he's going to make a comeback, I'll draft him for running back. He looks really good still. Other than that, though, I met a couple other rookies. Good guys. Just a fantastic overall experience, actually, though. And honestly, each member of this league who actually pays attention would really enjoy the experience, especially because it cost me a total of $0.
Maybe the 7 stars should head down next year then.
Say that again?
That maybe the 7 stars should head down then next year because you said people that actually pay attention to the league.
Am I included in those 7 stars or no?
Yeah, you can have Jared's spot.
To be honest, I do believe each one of you guys would have had a blast, and I'm excited that win. It was probably, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that maybe I'll never get again or whatnot, but it was an absolute great time, and I would definitely go again for sure.
Well, and the weather worked out really well because if it had been like it is today, this past weekend in Chicago, they had a ton of outdoor stuff going on, which worked out really well with the weather. But late April, early May, you could get some really crappy weather here in the Midwest.
Well, the weather, we were approximately 60 to 70 degrees and sunny. At nighttime when the Bears were picking, there was about, I'll say no fewer than probably 10 to 15,000 people huddled together looking forward to that pick, and we were all freezing because it was so cold at that point in time. But, that was at 9:30 at night our time, 8:30 at night their time, and the excitement overwhelmed that portion. And then when we went into the Bears tent afterwards to meet Kevin White, it was definitely fine there. So great time though.
Did they for the players that were there, did they bring the first round picks to the appropriate team tents after they were selected for all the players, or just him?
So what they did is they got announced like in the main auditorium area, like what you guys saw on TV, and then what you guys didn't see on TV, they would go to the back auditorium area and they do a separate interview with who's the guy, the NFL Red Zone guy. They do a separate interview with him, and then he go out and kind of speak with all the fans and give high fives, shake hands, kiss babies, all that kind of stuff. So I saw each one of those guys basically right in front of my face and, shook their hand and were able to talk with them for just a second and whatnot too. And a couple more just stayed for a while longer.
Okay. All right. Well, it definitely sounds cool. I don't know. It's for me, it's tough during the middle of the week like that to head on down there to spend a long weekend. But it's definitely a lot easier to do in Chicago than it would be in New York. And it sounds like they put a lot more together for the fans for free in Chicago than what they've had in New York in the past because it's been there for so long that everybody's used to it. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the rundown of the.
Well, and that's why.
Go ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm breaking up. I don't know what's happening.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on to the next segment. Then we're gonna move on to the mock draft. All right. Mike's time is done. He's been voted off the island. All right. As most of you
I'm back.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move into the mock draft now. So if you want to listen in and maybe halfway through, if you want to give some of your input, you can. But we're gonna move through the mock draft.
Let's see my wife in her sports bra. She's coming.
Me.
Do it.
All right. That's why we're on at 9 o'clock at night.
TV,
I'll just have you know, it's my kitty's 3rd birthday.
Hey,
Happy
happy
birthday,
birthday.
Happy birthday, Breslin.
So how old is Breslin in kitty years?
Go Blue.
27. I don't know.
I don't know. All right. So
That's a large drink, Mason.
for the mock draft, what Jason and Eric and Andy did a few months ago is they each went through. They took 1/3 of the draft and they alternated. So we're gonna go through now. Who is doing first? Andy's doing first and fourth and so on.
First, 4th, 7, 10.
And then Eric is taking second, and Jason is taking third. All right, so we'll just jump right in unless you guys want to say anything about it beforehand, but I think everybody knows right now anyway who has what picks. There haven't been any picks traded lately, but I guess that's always a possibility coming up here. So
I'm working on trades.
you're working on trades in this league or that other one we don't talk about?
Yes.
Yes.
Both equally. Both
Okay.
equally.
All right. Well, just for full transparency, I guess I'll let everybody know that Jason and I were talking about a trade for draft picks. Can I mention what that was?
Go for it.
Ooh, I'm interested.
Okay. I don't know if Jason can hear me. He's just looking at me with a blank stare.
Yeah, it's breaking up a little bit.
Okay. He had offered me the 5th pick for picks 9 and 12.
Wow.
Ooh.
I seriously considered it, but for now I've decided to hold on to my 4 picks. So.
Why? You can't even field that many people on your roster.
No, I can. I'm good.
He's got like 8 drops to make.
Yeah, I haven't made any of my drops yet because there's been no reason to. When I've got to make my drops, I'll make my drops.
Remember when somebody voted to try to keep the free agency happening before the rookie draft, which was a great idea, and people declined that option?
I do remember that. I was one of those people that voted against it because I didn't like the idea of breaking
Not
it
on
up.
tonight's agenda, guys.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the mock draft. We're going to start with Andy. We're going to get his pick for number 1, currently held by Derek Laurie in Newberta. And what say you, Andy?
Well, I looked at Derek's team. He could go any one of 4 ways. He could go the safe route, go Amari Cooper. He could go high boom, high bust route, go Kevin White. He could go 3 years down the road, go Todd Gurley. But with the bets he has made and his lack of depth at running back, he needs a guy that's going to guarantee start week 1 and
Melvin Gordon.
be the bell cow. And I have him taking Melvin Gordon. So a lot of the experts say he looks a lot like Jamal Charles. He has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield.
That's racist.
So, yeah, I see him taking Melvin Gordon with the gallon of alcohol he has on the line and whatnot. So that's where he's going.
All right. Fair enough. Number 1 pick, Melvin Gordon in the mock draft. Let's jump over to Eric.
All right, pick number
2.
Number 2, the first of Roger's 4 picks, at least as of right now.
Boom.
I really, really wanted him to take Kevin White here so that White did not fall to Mike at 3. I think that Kevin White is going to be the best player in this draft. But
don't forget that Mike says he is the biggest downside, so people may not want to take him.
Boomer bust. Boomer bust.
Can you mute Mike?
Rain boss.
So I wanted to take Kevin White here, but Roger, you need running back help more than anything. I had you taking Todd Gurley. Fun fact, he averaged over 27 points per game in 2014. Now that's college; it's not pros, but now and the Chiefs, you're not winning this year. I think you're well aware of that. So the fact that Gurley might be injured half the year this year doesn't really phase you. You're looking at 2016 and beyond. So with the Chiefs having 3 more draft picks later on in the draft, I think that he can still get a decent wide receiver there. A lot closer to Kevin White than a running back that you could get us close to Todd Gurley. The comparison of the player that is actually in the league right now is Marshawn Lynch, and I think that Gurley is going to be really, really good. Just maybe not this year, and that's why I have.
Gurley a bruiser?
No. Bull crap. Boo.
Everyone compares him to Adrian Peterson.
There we go. I'm closer to that.
All right. Well, whatever.
All right.
He's not a bruiser. He's not your 1 yard
Pick
guy.
number 2 is for Eric, so that's what he had to say. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to pick number 3, Jason.
Yeah, moving on to pick number 3, I think Mike, he wants Kevin White, but I think he takes. He goes with Kevin White. Who are we kidding? Mike's pretty well set at running back. He's got, who does he have? He's got
Jeremy Hill.
Marshawn Lynch, Jeremy Hill.
Monty Ball.
Monty Ball. And Le'Veon Bell. So he's taking a wide receiver here. I think wide receiver would help him the most here. White's got high upside, starting opposite Alshon Jeffrey. He's a big player at 6'3", and he's got speed and strength to go along with it. So, and the added bonus for Mike is that he's a Chicago Bear. So that's just icing on his cake. We all know he's taking Kevin White at 3 if he's there.
I think so. Now, the only reason, I don't want to say the only reason, but the biggest reason that I was seriously considering the offer that Jason made me is that if I had picked 2, 5, and 6, then that would give me a lot more likelihood to just jump in and take Kevin White at number 2, knowing that I had picked 5 and 6. Still wouldn't get one of those top running backs.
Correct.
It would have given me a little bit more guts to take Kevin White at 2, just because then I knew Mike wouldn't get him, and
Still
that
get
would
it.
be fun
Yelvin
with
at
with
6.
nothing else.
Okay, can I chime in here since it's my pick?
Sure, go ahead.
So I mean, in all honesty, I know obviously everybody knows I like White as my boomer bust pick because I can afford him to be a boomer bust pick at my position. But I am more than happy to take Gordon or Gurley, like by any means, if it happens to be wide receivers or anything else off the board beforehand. There's nothing wrong with having too many running backs. I've experienced that every year, and it's actually benefited me every year with the fill in of Jeremy Hill last year. So I'm okay either way. I'm going to take either White, Gurley, or Gordon. Maybe Cooper. I doubt it, though. So I think in my mind those are the top 3 picks, and I agree with you guys.
All right, let's move on to Andy. Pick number 4, Derek Lehman's pick.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's his only pick. No, he's got 2 picks. That's right. He has 2 picks. So his first pick number 4, what do you got with him?
Looking at Derek's running backs, he's got Chris Ivory. He might be the RB1 at the Jets right now with Zach Stacy there. D'Angelo Williams doesn't have a team. Michael Bush, I think he just retired. Marcel Reese. But there's not a running back he can reach for right here. He needs a good pick here, and Amari Cooper's a good safe pick. I think Derek Carr has the ability to give him the deep ball. Amari Cooper, best route runner in years, and I think him and that young quarterback has the potential to excel. So Amari Cooper, Oakland Raiders, is the pick.
Now, how does, in your opinion, with Crabtree being there, what does that make that a better pick?
You saw what Crabtree did last year, and I mean he kind of fell off, but I mean that might help take some of the attention off of Cooper. I don't think it is a negative impact on his value at all.
No, and I don't either. I guess I was just meaning, does it make it a better pick to take Cooper because now he has, he's not the best wide receiver in the league by any means, but Crabtree is a notable wide receiver. So you've got somebody else on the field with him to take some attention so that it's not, like you were saying, it's not all on Cooper. So it gives a little bit better credibility to Cooper as being a starting wide receiver, especially for Derek Lang's team.
Yeah, maybe it helps.
All right, let's move on to pick number 5. Pick number 5 is Jason Ferguson, but we're going to hear from Eric, who Jason did take.
Pick number 5, the Atlanta Alpha Dogs. They could really, really use a running back, much like the Baronian Red Wings at pick 4. There's just not a running back to be had here, and I think he goes wide receiver. I think this is the last guy of a tier, and that's Devontae Parker. Averaged over 22.5 points per game last year. In limited action, he only played 7 games, and that was without Teddy Bridgewater, though. I think he's clearly got the most talent out of any Miami wide receiver right now. There's going to be a lot of mouths to feed there. They did pick up, they still have Jarvis Landry. They picked up Kenny Stills. They picked up Jordan Cameron. Still have Lamar Miller. Picked up Jay Ajayi. Maybe we'll hear his name here shortly. He's 6'3". He's not a strong receiver, but after Jordan Cameron goes down with his annual concussion in week 2, I think he immediately becomes their go-to red zone threat. And I actually like his upside almost as much as Amari Cooper. His floor is a little bit lower, though. But I think that Jason takes him. His NFL comparison, not as good recently as what he's been in the past, but I like him to be a Keem Nicks type of player.
All right, very good.
Can I say one more thing again?
Absolutely, you're the commish.
I am the commish. So everybody gave me a hard time about my mock draft, but so far through the top 5 spots, it's matched up perfectly. Just saying.
Who gave you a hard time? No one commented on it.
Yeah.
What?
Nobody gave you a hard time. You wanted to be
the hard time we gave you is how you downplayed Kevin White the way you did.
Yeah, I don't think it was the overall.
Right, so
it wasn't the overall mock draft that anybody had a problem with. Yeah, it was the whole Kevin White thing, which is fine. It's all fun.
I'm going to highly disagree with everybody in this call and say Eric Helmholtz said, quote unquote, White will go number 1 or 2.
I think he goes number 1. I didn't have the 1 pick in this mock draft. I'm looking at Rodgers' team. He needs running back help so much more than wide receiver. I still think Kevin White goes 1. That's just not the pick that I had.
Interesting. Just saying.
Just saying. All right. All right. Well, Jason, you can either jump right into. Or Jason, are you there? Did we lose you?
Jason has such a nice face in his profile picture here.
He does.
I can look up what he had for the next play.
Well, this is a perfect time for a question. We have a question from one of our viewers, Derek Newberta, surprisingly enough.
Whoa!
Hey,
he says, give us the rookie whose stock is on the rise the most by virtue of the situation he walks into, team depth, and how early should he go in the rookie draft?
Oh, that's
Gordon.
easy.
Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon.
For the exact same reason I drafted Sankey last year.
Maybe T.J. Yeldon or Tevin Coleman as well. So running backs that are going into situations, maybe David Cobb, where there's not a ton of competition there, where they at least have a chance of being the go-to guy there.
How about Elgahor from the Eagles?
Can we just finish the freaking draft before we answer questions?
I was just throwing a question in because we were having trouble getting Jason back on. But
Elgahor from the Eagles.
I am here.
All right. We've got Jason, and we're going to move on to Jason for pick number 6. And
from here on out, I've got Roger's picks from here on out. So lucky you, Roger.
Right. We'll see if you continue to troll me at pick number 12.
Yeah, right.
Does Jason remind anyone else of Colin Coward? A little bit.
Ooh,
no, because I hate Colin Coward.
I see it.
I see it too.
You're always doing this to me, Andy. Who else would?
Michael Cera.
Oh, that one.
Well, he reminds me of Abed.
Anyway, back to the draft, right, Andy?
So, pick 6, Roger. He takes Tevin Coleman.
What?
He is the running back for the Atlanta Falcons. And the reason is that Tevin may slide right into the starting spot in Atlanta, much to my chagrin because I've got, what's his butt?
Freeman.
Devontae Freeman. It would provide more depth for him at RB for his team, which he still needs even after acquiring Gurley. And he's not a power back, but his lateral agility and his lateral agility is not great, but he's got speed and good acceleration and good field vision. So that's what we see from him. I think it's kind of a best available. I'm not sure what wide receiver would go before him, but I think he wants to get another running back.
Interesting.
All right. Moving back around to Andy.
He could have taken Jameis Winston there.
What's that?
He could have taken Jameis Winston there. Still available.
No, I'll probably take Jameis Winston too. So, all right. So we're on to pick 7, owned by Mike Samuels, newly named Detroit Hitman, I believe, is the name he's going with.
Yeah.
The Hitman's hurting here too. He can go either way. I see him taking a dark horse here. Mike just mentioned him. I have him taking Nelson Agholor.
Good pick.
I mean, they're without McCoy. He was replaced by Murray and Matthews, so there won't be points to be had there. But Jeremy Maclin leaves a huge void. A lot of those points will go to Jordan Matthews, but a lot of those points will go to this rookie as well. Maclin scored 280 points in PPR format last year.
Woo! That's a lot of points.
Yep. And, so there's going to be points to be had, up-tempo. This will be the best receiving Sam Bradford has had in his whole career. And, we'll see what he does. If Bradford doesn't work, he's got Tebow. So
I was going to say, when Bradford gets hurt in week 3 or 4, is that pick going to be as good with Tim Tebow throwing the ball?
It'll be better.
Deal time. He's living in the verse now.
I'm ready to comment on that, actually. They really pushed hard on this during the draft, and I was listening to that via live, obviously. And they mentioned that he is the exact same height, has nearly the exact same speed, and is almost the identical weight as Jeremy Maclin. Mm-hmm. They mentioned that he would be the one to replace him, and that I believe, I don't know if it would say exposition or not, but they were basically drafting him to take over Macklin's spot. That's why he's such a big up-and-coming name in fantasy football currently.
Wonderful. All right, Eric, you're going to be mock drafting pick number 8, owned by Derek Lehman.
All right, so another guy that's going to be in my division probably for the next 5 years. Lehman earlier, he took a wide receiver in Amari Cooper. I did take that into consideration here. So I think he definitely goes running back. This is a guy I mentioned a couple of minutes ago when he was asking, whose stock went up the most in the draft. And I think he takes T.J. Yeldon, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tons of holes on his roster. He's going BPA, best player available, with factoring in that he took a wide receiver earlier. I know this is that other league that shall not be mentioned, but this will be the 4th running back that has been drafted in the history of the Dynasties League. So I think he's probably closer to Lacey than he is Richardson and Ingram. I think he's going to be pretty decent, but he did not even lead his team in rushing last year. He finished behind, I think it was Derek Hooks. Hang on, let me check my notes here. I didn't put that down. He's got very little competition in Jacksonville, though. Looks like Denard Robinson is moving to kick returner, and Toby Gerhart is still white. So not a ton of comparisons, or not a ton of competition. NFL.com's comparison here is Terrence West, which is not very good praise.
Yeah, careful what you say because you're trying to sell West.
I have Crowell.
Oh, sorry.
So, in all my comparisons, I stole right from NFL.com, and their comparison was Terrence West. So, T.J. Yeldon.
All right, T.J. Yeldon. All right, Jason gets to help me make my next pick. Where am I going?
Yes, and the reason why I took you take a running back with your second is because running backs are becoming thin at that point. So with the pick 9 now, you start addressing wide receiver because there is plenty of good ones still available. And here I think Roger takes Brashad Perriman. With your 2 first picks being running backs, like I said, taking a wide receiver now, you're going to address that. He's a risky boom or bust pick, much like Mike says Kevin White is. But his size and speed make him a big play threat. His biggest risk is he dropped 14% of his passes in college ball, which is a big red flag. He did come down with a lot of the difficult 50-50 balls thrown his way. But his size and his speed tailor well to Flacco's arm. So he can, if he can break down the field and get open, he can have some big plays there. He's got a lot of upside, but it comes with an equal amount of risk.
Okay. It's interesting. I'll just quickly point out that this past weekend, Mike, Kamish, Eric, and Jason posted their individual mock drafts after the NFL rookie draft, and Perriman appeared on both Jason and Eric's mock draft, but nowhere on Mike's. And so this is really the first major difference from Mike's mock draft that he had posted prior to this. The only change was picks 6 and 7 were swapped based on what we've got going here. So I just thought I'd point that out, found that interesting. But anyway, we'll move on to Andy. Andy has pick number 10 for Jason. What do you got?
Jason, he needs future here. He needs some. He kind of has. He's got all my running backs from last year, basically. But I see him going running back here as well. I have him picking Amir Abdullah, Detroit Lions. The Lions offensive coordinators from the Saints. So think what Reggie Bush did at New Orleans. Think what Darren Sproles did. Think what Pierre Thomas has done. And just kind of raise that ceiling. I think in a couple years, Abdullah has the potential to be the bell cow in Detroit once Jake's time has passed. So it's a safe play for Jason. I mean, PPR machine is what he'll turn into.
I like it. I like Amir Abdullah at 10. So no arguments here.
All right. Move on to Eric. It's kind of nice that he gets to help out in the mock draft here because he's not going to actually participate in the real draft. So
Same here.
Yeah, but okay, pick number 11. We've almost made it home stretch. Jared's pick. Where's he going?
Before that, the reason why I'm not in the draft is because my brother isn't stupid enough to trade me his draft pick. I'm not even here anymore. Shoot.
No.
With pick 11, the Calgary Cocksuckers go with DGB, Dorial Green Beckham. Again, really needs running back more than wide receiver, just like a few of the other picks. If I'm Jared, I hope that Yeldon or Abdullah falls here, and that's who I would take. But there's no running backs that are left. You could reach for one of the D. Johnsons or Cobb. But I think that he's got to go upside here. Beckham is talented but troubled. Do I know anyone that is a wide
Josh Gordon.
Oh, Josh Gordon. So that's who he reminds me of. Unfortunately for him, we have a pretty good history of college players that had to sit out a year and then come into the NFL. Think Mike Williams, think Maurice Clarett. They did nothing once they got here. So there are definite red flags for Dorial Green Beckham. Just a really, really amazing talent, though. The NFL.com comparison, double ouch Justin Hunter. But my comparison was already mentioned, and that's Josh Gordon. Awesome talent, but red flags all around.
All right. Fair enough. Jason gets to wrap up the mock draft with my final pick, the 12th pick.
12th pick. Roger is happy here to take Jalen Strong, wide receiver. He's the best player available in my opinion, and maybe in Roger's opinion. He's not troubled as Dorial Green Beckham is. Jalen's confident and an aggressive pass catcher. Patch catcher. He kisses patches. He's got great top end speed. So he lacks ideal quickness on shorter routes, but so most of the separation comes from longer runs down the field. But he should fill the void that Andre Johnson left, and he'll be a great complement to DeAndre Hopkins outside the hash mark. So Jalen Strong, I think, is a good pick for number 12.
All right. Well, thank you guys for that. Can we do a couple questions real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of gone long, but
My question is to Roger. What was the trade proposed to you by Jason?
Picks 9 and 12 for pick 5.
You gotta do that.
Who says no to that?
Apparently Roger.
Apparently.
Okay, Roger, who can you get at 12 that you can't get in the free agency?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to price. I'm interested right now. What I've got myself sold on, and maybe that's for worse as opposed to better, is this is the last draft before values go up. Now, granted, the last few picks are not going to go up that much, but I'm looking at signing 4 guys to 5-year deals for the lowest contracts that these guys can get after this year.
How much do you think the first rookie of the free agency is going to go for? Pick 13, if you will.
Pick 13?
Yeah.
$17.
I was gonna say $20.
So here's what I'm thinking for your team, Roger. You can go either Cooper or White at 2, Devontae Parker at 5, build your team around Kelvin Benjamin, those 2 wide receivers I just said. You got money to get a couple running backs. I think you should do it.
He's into quantity over quality, apparently.
Yeah. I may revisit when I didn't want to keep Jason waiting, and I had not sold myself on making the deal, so I had to say no. I could have said, give me a couple more days, give me a 3-week deadline or an 11 o'clock deadline. But so I may go back to it. I couldn't sell myself on it yet. If I do, I'll see if he's interested still. If he's not, that's fine.
I think you should do it right now.
Well,
I've got a couple of other irons in the fire. So
yeah, what I want to do is I want to quick jump back to the mock draft pick number 6, which Jason had me taking Tevin Coleman, running back for the Falcons. And as that pick was happening, we had a question from Derek, who says the Freeman/Wallace trade is bad now?
Who was a part of that trade? Andy?
Oh, that was me. I don't regret it. I traded with Jason as a result of that.
Well, I think the reason he was bringing that up is because, correct me if I'm wrong, this was the pick, Jason, where you mentioned Freeman in there. Is that, or am I off?
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Freeman, he's not going to be completely. Right now, I think CBS has Tevin Coleman ahead of Freeman as far as ranks. But I think Yahoo believes, I think I saw it there, that Tevin will back up Freeman. So it's really unclear in my eye who's going to be starting, who's going to be backing up who. I thought from what little I saw of Freeman last year, I thought he looked legit. So, and he's got a good contract, I think it's $15 for 4 years, something like that. So I need longer contracts with high upside, and at the time I made it, he was it.
Okay.
And let's not pretend that Mike Wallace is a super value contract anyway.
All right, we won't pretend that.
He could beat you in a race, though. I think he's faster than anybody else in the NFL, right? What I heard.
Last question, also from Derek. He gives the best questions. He gives the only questions. What veteran player walks away as the biggest winner based on the new additions to his team, and how does it affect how you value him this season? I think there were 5 questions in there, but anyway.
Okay. By addition, I'm going to say Joe Flacco. He got himself some nice toys there. By lack of addition, it's got to go to Darren McFadden. He's still overpaid, but being the starting running back in Dallas is still worth something.
I think Andrew Luck has added quite a bit too with Dorsett. He got Andre Johnson. I mean, not specific to the draft, but he got Andre Johnson and Frank Gore. I think they drafted an offensive line in the first 2 rounds. So that's someone else that has added to their already sky-high value from last year.
Tannehill's intriguing also, just because of all the pass catchers he's got, and he's got a lot of talent around him. So, and he's the free agent too. So, interested to see how much he goes for.
Yeah, I think the free agent pickup I'm most interested to see how it turns out is Darren McFadden, because I was certain that they had 1 or 2 running backs they were going to bring in after him, and if he really, like Eric said, if he ends up being the starter in Dallas, he's still overpaid in our dynasty league, but he may not be nearly as overpaid as he was last year. We'll say that.
Right.
All right, well, if we can't get through these questions quick enough, we're going to keep getting more. So here's another one from Derek. When you guys want to quit, just let me know. Last season, Martavius Bryant offered good value despite flying under the radar as a 4th-round pick. Name one rookie that has the best shot to be a surprise stud this season.
Oh, Derek wants me to give up my deep sleeper list. You got to pay for that, son.
This is all the info he'd never give because he'd say you have to pay for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't.
Mumphrey, maybe Tony Lippett, the cornerback, Jeremy Langford. There you go.
All right. Well, this has been, I think, truly, this may be the longest Happy 5 minutes. So, but we had 2 segments. It was great. Mock draft was great. So I appreciate you guys doing that here as opposed to your own video. Gives me more participation points, I guess. I don't know. But what do we got? 4 of the 7 stars here, so that's good. And then one of the 5 flashlights showed up too. So.
Flashlights.
I like it.
Yeah, that got to give credit to Derek for that one. So.
All
right, wonderful. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for watching, for listening. If you watch later, that's great. Leave comments. Watch next week. 5 happy minutes.
Thank you, Roger.